Good morning. We're just about to take off for our vacation, and I thought I'd just take a couple minutes here and just show you how we do a road trip. So I'm going to show you what we have in the car as far as connectors are concerned, cables, extension cords, that kind of thing. And then as we go on our road trip, I'll show you how we do our stops. First things first, this morning, I'm just going to unplug the car. And as you can see here, we are taking our bikes with us on this trip. Clears it, so we're okay. And I got my bike helmets. So the first thing I bring here is a 120 volt extension cord. There's the UMC, by the way, sitting there in the bottom. Try not to use that. When you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. The other thing too is I also bring this massive, now not every day, only on long trips. I got this massive, I think it's a 30-foot NEMA 1450 extension cable. And in this little gray bag, I've got some adapters on the end there for RV parks and stuff, because you just never know where you're going to be. Also on the bottom here, and you can't see it, is my CHAdeMO adapter. So we're going to be in a little bit of no man's land. I'm going to try and stay right where most of the superchargers are. But when we go on these trips, you can never be safe enough because you just don't know where you're going to be. And the other thing here is last night I did a range charge. When I go on long trips like this, just on the first leg, because where I am right here, our normal first stop is going to be something like Kingston. And while I can usually reach it on 90%, we're a little heavier. We've got bikes, we've got food, we've got snacks. I mean, look, I've got one bag of snacks here. My wife does not pack lightly. So speaking of bikes, I should put these helmets in our backpack here with the hydration pack in the front trunk, because getting into the trunk when the bikes are there is a pain in the butt. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna put my helmets in here. I'll organize this here in a second, but you can see here I got a swim bag. There's some drone gear in here, some photography gear, just so that I don't have to climb into the back of the car to get all this stuff, especially with the bikes on the back. Now, yes, I know some of you are going to say, but you know, what about the thing and people can get into the car? And you know what? Most people, 99.9% of people, don't know that you can get into the trunk. So you keep that comment to yourself. So we're outside of Toronto, we're on our way, and Miss Daisy here is working on her computer, and she insisted that we try out this screen thing here. This is the first time we've ever used it here in the car. This is the thing that Tesla supplies with every Model X, and it seems to work, but it feels claustrophobic. Anyhow, let's just talk about power management a little bit. You can see here, hopefully I can zoom in here a bit, you can see that the watt hours are 234 watt hours per kilometer. Now, under normal circumstances, on a nice warm day like today, doing about 115, that would be below 200. But you know, we got a lot of extra weight, we got some drag because we're carrying the bikes. Oh, the other thing too is I had to type in a slightly different destination this time because the computer told us that we would probably not have enough energy to get to Kingston. Now, thank goodness that we have another supercharger that just opened recently here in Belleville, so we're going to hit that first. One of the great things about the Tesla computer in the navigation system is that it really takes all of the guesswork out. It tells you where to stop and how long to stop. I mean, if we didn't have this, I don't know how the heck we'd do a road trip in a car. I mean, it's not like it's impossible to do with other EVs. It's just going to take a lot more planning. Of course, the car's flipping out right now because I got the bikes on. And, the bikes. Well, we arrived here in Belleville, but the problem is, you can see here, I got the bikes on the back and it just barely clears. I can move a little bit more, but this particular supercharging station doesn't have one of the ones that you can, you know, pull in with trailers and stuff, so it's a bit of a pain. Let's have a look. Now we're getting 100 kilowatt. I've got it set to 100, so we're going to do 90 here because we don't need the extra length. And I'm just going to type in our ultimate destination. Cornwall's not the best location, you'll see why. Man, that's annoying. So we had to make a stop here in Kingston from our last stop in Belleville, which is about 75 kilometers away. And this supercharger is really interesting. This is one of the very first superchargers built in Canada, and you can see that they're very, very tightly grouped together. They're in the middle of this like outlet mall. So So they may do with what they could, but this is another location where there's no pull through. So for me, with with the bikes on the back, I had to do this douchey thing here and just kind of sideways a little bit, because these stalls here are occupied by a couple cars. I already tried going in straight in, didn't work. So here's the thing: I had to stop here because these bikes are causing some very noticeable drain on range. They're very draggy, so it really goes a long way to really showing how aerodynamic Teslas really are until you put something on the back. Now, normally with our destination, our destination is Montreal, and the problem is it wanted us to stop in Cornwall, which is normally okay, but the bikes on the back are causing so much drag that there's a large stretch here, between Belleville, where we stop right here, Belleville, and where we have to go here in Cornwall, and there is nothing in between here, so it's a fairly large stretch. So I decided to stop in Kingston just to get us back up to about 90, because it was telling us in Cornwall we would arrive at about 5%, and that's below my comfort level. Talk about just about in the nick of time. I'm not even running on electrons at this point. I'm running on pixies. Oh, it barely reaches. There we go. Alright, we're at the shopping center here in Quebec, and the superchargers are in the parking garage, so we gotta go downstairs. Careful, big car. They have berms here, which is nice because you'll know when your wheels hit it. Boom, you're parked, you're done. See? Stop. We're gonna go bike riding here in Vermont, so we just parked and took the bikes off, ready to go, and we're gonna use this Circuit Electric. So as with anything, everything is controlled via an app, and of course all these units here are marked with a number. Yeah, CEA 300, station available, $1 per hour. Start the session, authorization and process. Oh, it just unclicked and unlocked. Alright, so I unplugged the port. We're gonna, oh right, I need my 1772 adapter. Duh! Alright, let's try this again. I got my adapter now. There we go, she's going green. She's going green. Charging in progress. Alright, little intermission here. We're going to have some lunch. This, my friends, is traditional Canadian, Quebecois poutine. It's not pronounced poutine, it's poutine. It is gravy on top of fries and white curd cheese curds. The cheese curds have to be super fresh. Like when people bite into them, they say it's squeaky. That's how you know they're fresh. Some people call it heart attack in a bowl, but it is delicious, and don't knock it till you try it. Really cool because even in my hometown they have this place here, 2 Tesla wall connectors, juice, 48 amp at 240 volts. Want to say a special thanks to the Shell gas station across the street. White Knight is getting some free electrons. We're going to sit here and have some Tim Hortons. Today's French lesson brought to you by Uncle Trevor. Merci de jeter vos ordures aux poubelles. Thank you for throwing out your garbage in our garbage can. We're at the Burlington Vermont Supercharger, and let me tell you, this is a supercharger. I love this layout. Look at this. All of the cars are sideways, and like most of them, of course, are lined up this way against the thing, but this is a really great layout because you get to pull through. 2 cars this way, 2 cars this way. Now I understand you can't do layouts like this everywhere, but for people like us that have, you know, bikes or trailers, whatever, this is a great layout. Well, we're at our final destination here in Sugar Bush in Vermont, and you can see there's some ski hills here, but the best part is, you know, our condo is way over there in the trees, but look, we've got a parking lot here with several level 2 chargers here and here, and check this out. 3 posts, 1, 2, 3, each one of them with Tesla wall connectors. They're all live, they're free to use. All right, let's see what we're dealing with here. I'm gonna take the high road. Okay, well, guess that's it for us tonight. Another day, another charge. We're here in Burlington, Vermont, and we got these 8 different superchargers here, and we just parked sideways here so that we can get a good charge here for a few minutes. It's like we might have a fan. Are you okay with being in the vlog?
I'm
It's
fine.
all good. Thanks for coming out, Dave. It's nice to meet you.
You're great meeting you too.
Yeah, we've been standing here talking to a bunch of people. Sorry, I mean, I get talking and then I don't show video and stuff, but yeah, typical. Whatever happens. So there you go. We're supercharging. No big deal. We're done. So we're going to get on here with our day, and we'll show you some more stops as we go.
Free your body and your mind. One, two, three.
If you really wanna fly, lift your hands in the air, let the music get you high. 5, 5 banging that style. Everybody make some room. Everything on the body gon' boom, boom, boom. Looks like she really wanna get on. I see.
I just crossed over into New York. We're driving down the highway, and I just had to stop because we saw this great big metal statue of Bigfoot.
In the air, let the music get you high. Work your body like an exercise. We can do that thing too.
Made it here just in time. Welcome to Albany, New York. So let's give you an idea of where we started here this morning. I gotta zoom way out, because we started our day Lebanon, Montpellier, Stowe. Okay, so we're right here. So we started here in Sugar Bush, and we came down the highway and crossed over the mountains through Brandon, all the way down and through Queensbury, and then finally made it down here to Albany. There are two superchargers here in Albany. One here is by the mall, and Gelderland has 20 stalls, and then there's a earlier one, looks like in Albany itself, which has 6 stalls. We chose here with the mall because, of course, obviously there's 20 more chances of finding a better parking spot. So let's talk about efficiency. Unfortunately, my screen has disappeared here to show you. Of course, I have no trip here. I'll show you a little bit of consumption. Of course, up and down the mountains, we're dragging bikes, of course. That doesn't help too much. We arrived here with 12%. We're currently charging now, so it's showing about 13. Started with 90 this morning. We charged at the Sugar Bush in Vermont, and they have 9 Tesla destination chargers, so that's always good. So we did a 90% charge. So this is the Gelderland Supercharger, and you can see that there's a Dick's Sporting Goods, a mall, Dave & Buster's. So we're parked here in this last spot because it allows me to back in, be able to charge with the bikes on the back without too much effort. And then there's 20 stalls all the way through. No Model 3s, unfortunately. I only saw one Model 3 in our whole trip on the opposite side of the highway. Where are you guys? Come on. Ooh, just arriving in Syracuse, running on, what's the Electron version of fumes? Huh? Any idea?
No idea.
That's okay. It looks like there's only one car here, so we have the whole place to ourselves practically. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll take that spot right there, I think. Oh, I hope it reaches. It's really, really tight. Oh yeah, we're good. Like a glove. Just about hitting the signs. Tesla, I need to move those signs back a little bit. Guys like me with bikes, doesn't work so much. Let's see what we get here. Alright. Running really low here. We're down to about 7%. So. Let's see here. How many kilometers, miles have we been doing here? 1,043, 44 miles. What's that in science units? Let's have a quick look here. 1,674 kilometers. We're not done yet. You know, I've been slowly losing my metric skills living in the US here for the last 5 days or so. Curse you, Uncle Sam. Made it to Buffalo just in time. What did I say about running on fumes? This is about the only time I pushed the car to its limits. Oh yeah, I had to eat first, so let's just get this puppy charged up. Hopefully this cable reaches. Oh, just barely. This is a little different situation. It's going to be the last charge. What the hell? Sorry about that. Yeah, this will be like the last charge we do before we get home. So, the end of our trip has arrived, just about. Sometimes it'll hesitate a little bit when you get really, really low state of charge. It takes a little bit for it to ramp up. Yeah, it'll kick in here eventually. Okay, I just want to give you a few last thoughts. Now that we're at the end of our trip, sorry about the noise. Of course, the supercharger slamming the battery, so that's the fan for the battery coming on. Anyhow, so a few final thoughts. We've traveled some, I don't know, 1,200 miles so far, and we're still in Buffalo, so we got another couple hundred miles to get home. Anyhow, Model X is extremely aerodynamic, and I know it now because these bike racks suck the efficiency out of this car. It's really bad. It's manageable, but it's almost like having a parachute on the back of the car. It really ruins kind of the back end here with the aerodynamics. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit with the parachute analogy, but it is a noticeable change in efficiency in the car. So anyways, kudos for Tesla. They did a really good job on the Model X aerodynamics, but bike racks for long distance trips, just be prepared to do a few more stops or do a little longer charge on occasion. Now, we were quite fortunate because where we were staying at the Sugar Bush in Vermont, they had 9 destination chargers. All of them were free, so I used those a couple times just to keep the battery topped up, but there were a couple times when I didn't even charge for a couple of days because for running around town we don't really need to. Other than that, I mean, the car, I haven't washed it or anything, so you can see here that it's pathetically dirty on the front, so we're gonna have to do a full detailing on the car when I get back home. This is very sad. I hate to see my car in this condition, but it's held up really well. We've had 0 problems on our trip. I've done, let me think here, how many superchargers stops I've done. I've probably done about a dozen different supercharger stops along our way. I'll try and document that in the video as we go. And but otherwise, the car's performed brilliantly. No range anxiety, although we did show up here here in Buffalo, and I was down to like 3%. I do not normally exercise the battery in that condition ever on daily trips. It's only on long distance trips. I'm getting to trust the car now. So trust the navigation computer. It really works well. Now in the winter months, of course, it's less efficient, so you can't trust it quite as much because the trip computer will show in the winter months anywhere from 2 to 5% less than actual. But in the summer months, it's deadly accurate. Anyhow, that's about it. This is our trip, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sorry if it's a little bit long until I get around to editing it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe on our videos. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.